Okay, so I think we'll get started and I'll just try to reassign people as we go. If your name isn't on the left-hand side, then you should be in the other room. So if you're not there, do try to do that. So I'll stop sharing my screen and we can spotlight the first team, which is Travel Access. Okay, I think we're having a little bit of trouble spotlighting people. Okay, so yeah, if you don't have your video on, please turn it on. That way we can spotlight you. So you guys can probably go ahead. I don't think we can spotlight your other team member just yet. Mark, you can go ahead whenever you're ready. I can ask you guys to unmute and you can share your screen. If you can't, please let me know.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm showing our product, Travel Access. My name is Mark. I'm the product manager for this project. Esther is our designer. Afam, Chris, is one of our developers. Ijoma is our second developer. And Matthew is our mentor for this project. Some quick facts of the travel industry. It's an estimated 700 million people will make a booking online by the year 2023. And in this chart, you can see the online booking app for my market share. Market estimation, we're expecting to at least get a serviceable, obtainable market of 2% of this $350 million. Our problem statement is travelers need a way to keep track of their documentation and be prepared on their upcoming trips, as it can be stressful at times. Users need a way to be more informed about their travel destinations and their experience.
So let's meet Michelle. Some of the pain points she faces are having to find travel information in different places, having to do the research for the city and of places to go to, which can be proven difficult sometimes, and feeling that guides are not personal enough. Some of her needs and goals are to have her information all in one place, having everything she needs packed, and getting recommendations of places that she can go to. So the solution that we came up with for Travel Access is that on the user's dashboard, you'll be able to view their upcoming trips detail at a glance, as well as get recommendations of places to go to depending on their destination. This will save them time on having to do the research. We also created a checklist feature to help travelers prepare in terms of what they need to pack. And with every list comes with a guide for that destination to better help travelers know what to expect in that city, as well as how they may get around it.
Okay, as Mark earlier said, Travel Access actually tries to track all your information, all your documentation. So when you come when you click on the app, you first of all, we have you're greeted by the front page. Now this front page actually lets you I call it the quick service. It lets you to search for information even without you logging in. And when you log in, you'll be directed to the home page also, which you'll be able to search for information. You'll be able to book for flights. Now, this is actually powered by the use of the Amadeus API. Now, one of the great features of this app is that we also have the section of the upcoming section where you have the ability to save your trips, the upcoming trips you have. Then we that takes you to travel prep. Travel preps actually creates a list in case you don't know where you want to go, but you actually have you actually want to take a trip. So travel prep actually helps you to create a template. It creates a template which we kept in a card format. So with each click of the card, you're able to get the history, the fact, and the culture of a particular place you want to go to. Now, with a click of the plus icon, you'll be able to have the checklist section. The checklist section is it acts as a reminder where you actually check your essential, what you need to pack. This is one of the great features of our app. You actually have opportunity to check the get a check box. We help you to know what you need to pack. Then we have a small travel guide, which is a read-through for you. So you'll be able to see all that with our app. Thank you.
My learnings from this project is I applied theories of product management and learned to write user stories.
And then my learnings is that I was able to collaborate with product managers and developers and being able to communicate my design to developers as well to learn about any constraints and what was feasible for our product.
I'm sorry, one of the backend developer right now can't be available. So what this is learning. Then for me, during my time here in Co.Lab, the 8 weeks, I was able to work with the backend as a front-end developer that I am. I was able to work with the front end, and I was able to work with the back-end developer. And I found that it makes things faster, and we get to all learn from each other. And also, despite the time differences, I was able to work with everybody, a cross-functional team. I was able to work with everybody. So it was all a new experience for me. Thank you.
Thank you for seeing our presentation.
Thank you.
Let's jump right into Q&A because there's not a ton of time left on the clock. So anyone who has questions, you can pop them in the chat, or mentors, I know you have some questions. You can feel free to unmute and ask those as well, or let us know you need to unmute. See if there's any. Okay.
You, Beth. Lovely presentation. I think the design is beautiful in the slides and the product in general. So great job, first and foremost. One thing I would love to know is, let's imagine, I'm not sure if you're all familiar with Product Hunt, but it's a place where you can gain visibility for a new product. Let's imagine tonight you post your product and you get 100,000 plus downloads and you're an overnight success. What would you do tomorrow to make sure that this product is successful going forward or scales gracefully? So you have an influx of many, many users. It's a smash success. What do you do next?
Okay. I think okay, Marco.
It's make sure that the product would scale properly. We would have to make sure that our backend is on point to be able to handle the users. We haven't been able to test this product on scaling it. That's one of the things that we're planning to work on going forward in the next few months to try to scale this product and test it with actual users and see if it's something that can be sustainable.
Great, thank you. I think we've run out of time. I'm so sorry. Razvan, you did have a question as well. If you want to just pop that in the chat so they can answer it in the chat, and we'll move on to the next team. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you all for listening.
Okay, team, you can get started. Yeah. You should be prompted to unmute.
Alrighty, so hi everyone. Yeah, today we would like to talk to you about the product that we've been building for the past 2 months. So on the call today with me, my name is James, I'm the product manager. On the call today, I have a Po Chang as a product designer. Unfortunately, Sodik is unable to make it today, but don't worry, we will cover him. And then we have Olu Wenyi Femi is also the software developer. So sorry for some background noise, but alrighty. So if tomorrow was your last day in this life, what would you remember? You are correct, memories. According to the research that we've done, memories are our identities. It shapes who we are. They tell our stories, what we have done in this life. But also personal memories serve important function in every life, in which they help us set goals, control emotion, and build intimacy with others. However, according to the user interview that we've done, we realized that there wasn't any platform that really helped create memories as a habit. And there's no platform that allow people to just focus on tell the story and be their authentic self. So therefore, we create Wabi Sabi.
Wabi-sabi is an ancient Japanese philosophy, meaning the search for beauty in imperfection and accepting the more natural cycle of life. So therefore, wabi-sabi is created to encourage people to live their life to the fullest and whatever definition they want it to be, allowing users to tell their stories, and wabi-sabi will save, store, and organizes their memories for them. And our user demographics are millennials and Gen Z between the ages of 15 to 35, who are tech savvy, love taking photos or capturing memories, and want a space to showcase their authentic selves outside of social media. And then next, I will have Lutunde demonstrate the live demo.
Thank you, Beth. Okay, so our product is a web application. So when a user clicks on the link, it takes them to this page on the desktop view, and then they sign up since this will be their first time using the app. They put in their names, a valid email address, and then a password, an authentic password, and then they create their account. So on clicking the create account button, it redirects them to the welcome page. And then this gives a general overview of what the app is about. It has a timeout feature of 15 seconds before it redirects to the home page, or you could touch to skip, and then you're taken to the home page directly. So we have cards that you click on to create a memory. These two that are currently inactive, this shows that per day you can only make 3 entries. That means you click on each card to make your entry. So to make an entry, you click on a card and then you put in your image. You have a title for that particular image. And then you say the story behind that particular entry. So for the image, the accepted formats are JPEG, PNG, JPG, and then it shouldn't be more than 10 MB. Also, we have a character limit count of a minimum of 100 words for your story. And then you can also like your memory by making it private, or you could also share with the public. And then when you're done, you click on the check mark and then your memory is saved. and redirects you to the memories page where you view all your memories in one place. We also have the Discover page that is for all the users that decided to make their memories public. On Discover page, you scroll and then you can choose to get inspiration from other users. So you cannot like or comment on any of the memories, but it's just for you to view. And then when you're done, you can either create another entry or you could log out of the app. Thank you, Trin.
Yeah, and so now I would like to talk about the individual learnings. So as a product manager, I learned a lot about how to think like a product manager, asking my team members a lot of why questions to understand the product and prioritize product features, and as well as manage the resources within the team so that everybody happy and don't like overwork.
As the product designer, I learned to always ask for help from my team to drive the collaboration and product process faster, communicating my design ideas early and often with the developers for building feasibility and getting feedback from the product manager.
So he learned how to communicate technical concept to non-technical person, especially me as a product manager and Pro Chang as product designer.
Okay, for me as a developer, I learned how to be more accommodating and to communicate my thoughts more effectively. Also, I learned that no idea is superior or inferior to the other and that all ideas are equally important.
Yeah, so as a team, we work so well together. I'm so proud of my team. The reason we were able to do that by communicate with each other, our goals, and just like small little things that we all usually share the feedback with each other without being afraid of, critical feedback. And so, yeah, that's it for Wabi Sabi, and we are open for questions.
All right, great. Thank you so much. All right, Katie has a question. I will unmute you. Go ahead, Katie.
Hey guys, first of all, I absolutely love the thumbnail animation. I think it is beautiful. It's probably one of the nicest I've seen in a long time. So great job on design. So my question is, you obviously had a really good shot at your MVP. Do you have any stretch goals that you were hoping for? Any functionality that you were hoping to add in the future? Or is there something that you had in mind? Could you explain what it is?
Absolutely, too many to share. The first thing that for the MVP product, we only focus on 3 things. So as you see, create memories, share the stories, and do like favorite photos. For the second piece that we haven't been able to share is that how can we motivate people? How can we make it as a habit, right? So as you see a lot of the apps nowadays where they like remind people, give people a little bit nudge, hey, you haven't been able to go outside and exercise or like go and create memories. So there's a lot of things that we are going to develop, and we are hoping to launch the full product by the end of this year.
Yeah, also we are thinking of making it a PWA so that you could have a mini version on your phone instead of you having to go to the website every time to click on it. So we could just have something like a PWA, a progressive web application at the end of the day. Yeah.
Awesome, that's great. JP asks, what technology was used for the back end?
Okay, yeah, we use Ruby on Rails.
Okay, thank you. Let me just check if there's any other questions. I know we have to unmute the mentors to speak, unfortunately, due to the perfect. I will unmute you, Kevin. You can go ahead.
Thank you, Beth. Amazing project once again. Great execution. I feel like when you have great execution like this, like you get a really quality MVP together, it's because you're aligned and you're making decisions quickly. Like, can you talk us through how you're able to do that so well? Because like when there's misalignment or too many meetings required or whatever, it eats up your time and you can't execute. But it feels like you were able to pull off like a great MVP. So I'd love to know a little bit more about that.
So first of all, we have a daily stand-up, like every single day, no matter it's just like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, it's important for us to check in with each other to make sure that we don't have any roadblocks. So that has been happening for the past 2 months. If we don't have any setup, I will send the update for any teams that, hey, these are the things that we are happening so that everybody can be on track. The second piece is I document everything. There's a document for every single thing, for user interview to research, like literally every single thing. And we are not afraid of speaking up. Hey, I don't think this is a great idea. We work as a team of 4 people. I know that earlier in the process, there's a check-in, like product manager work with this person, this person work with this person. I told the team that we're gonna work as a team. So because our team is so small, it's not a corporate, but you have like 15 or like 30 people. But so we always have to work as a team to voice our concern or feedback.
Great, thank you guys so much. And I believe we'll move on to the next team.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I am Sahar. Everyone can hear and see all right? Okay, awesome. So my name is Sahar, and on behalf of the team, this Job Description Plus, I wanted to welcome you all. Oh, sorry. Nope. Okay, so I'm having a bit of issues. Sorry. I will just stop sharing my screen and share again. Sorry about that. Okay, so we have Samchan, our product manager. I am Sahar, product designer. We have Kachi as a front-end developer and Femi as a back-end developer. So when you're searching for jobs, have you ever read a job description and wondered what the job is actually like? So the job may spell out the qualification and responsibility required, but what about the company culture? Oh my God.
I think it just started to work, your screen share. There was definitely an issue with it, but try again one last time. I think it's...
Okay, I don't know what's happening here. So just, do you mind if we go in the end so I can figure this out?
Yeah, like shift you?
Yeah, if that's possible. I can try one last time. Otherwise, if Sam wants to share or if we can be moved to the end.
Why don't we just swap you in the next team? Because I know Sam had some time constraints too. So let's just switch to the next team and then we'll pop you guys back in. Thank you. Great. You guys can go ahead when you're ready. I think we're missing Carl, right? There you go.
Screen. One second. No, I'm having trouble with my thing. Hold on.
At least we can see the right slideshow. I don't know if it's a you guys thing or if it's Zoom. It's...
One second. All right, I'm almost there. Why is that showing? Okay, I think we're fine. All right, can I start?
Yeah, go ahead whenever you're ready. We do have time, so Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, my name is Carl, and I'm the product manager of Common. Our devs are Amin and Daniel, and our designer is Marky. Working in the financial planning industry for over a decade, I found many inefficiencies in the business, which lead to obstacles and roadblocks for people receiving the financial advice that they need. So how does traditional financial planning work? We take these clients through the financial planning process. It's a 6-step process from identifying their goals to implementing a plan, which can take up to 3 months to complete, and then it's ongoing from there. And how much does it cost?
I want just sorry, Carl. I want to stop you. Maybe the screen is freezing. Is it just only for me or for?
Yeah, you're right. It hasn't moved forward.
Yeah, it
Oh,
didn't.
it hasn't moved forward?
Yeah, it hasn't. Yeah, it hasn't moved.
Oh, sorry about that.
I think the issue. I think now yes, maybe. Can you try again? Try to move it again just to see if.
Let me stop sharing. Sorry.
In the future, we'll have a cohort that can remake a better Zoom. How about that? Anybody up for the challenge?
All right. So from here, let's see. And so how much does it cost? Well, a typical financial planning fee starts at $2,000 and up. What about those that can't afford the high fee? Well, I come across this situation many times. Meet Corey and Michelle. I had an introductory meeting with them 2 weeks ago. Corey works at Apple and Michelle works at LinkedIn. They both make good income, but they're getting married next year, so their budget is tight. They mentioned that they were never taught money management or investing. At the end of our conversation, it didn't make sense for them to pay $2,000 for a plan, but all they wanted to know was, how do they manage their money? Most people don't know where to start. So what are the problems? Number one, there's no personal finance or money management taught in school, and it can be too intimidating and complex to learn on your own. Number two, there's a high barrier to entry to get professional help, and it's too expensive. And professionals are selective. So how might we provide simple and actionable financial advice for people that are starting their careers so that they can feel more confident in how they are managing their money? Meet Common. Common is a web app that allows users to select the financial goal, answer a few questions, and receive a step-by-step guide tailored to their personal situation. We like to think of it as GPS for your money. Let's hop into a demo with Marky.
Thanks, Carl. So this is Common. Just like traditional financial planning, we start with the user selecting their financial goal. In this case, I just want to know where to start. How should I manage my money? Then we collect some information from them. We keep friction low by asking very simple binary questions. What's my employment status? Does my employer offer a retirement plan, and do they match my contributions? Debt. Do I have any debt? Do I have any high or moderate interest debt? And with these few questions, we can provide a basic step-by-step guide to get the user started based on their situation. From here, the user can continue to dive deeper to get more specific advice, such as specific dollar amounts for their emergency fund, how much to contribute to the retirement plans, and in what order to pay off their debts. The more data you provide, the more detailed your recommendations will become. Next is Amin to go over the tech stack.
Thanks, Marky. So our project has only the front end side and does not have the back end side. So this is why we choose the main stack for our application is React. So React uses the concept of a single page application. And since our project is one page with few navigations, React is the best framework for this kind of project. And also React increases the application's performance. So the second stack is Redux. So since our application uses a lot of data like questions, recommendations, we use Redux to maintain and update all that data across our application for multiple components to share. So the third stack is Google Spreadsheets. We use Google Spreadsheets to store our data and also to make it easy for the product manager to manage the data of the project just only from the Google Spreadsheets. So the fourth stack is AppScript. We use AppScript tool to build API endpoints from the spreadsheet and use them in our front-end app to fetch the data from Google Spreadsheets. So those were all the stacks we used for this project, and I will pass it now to Carl to talk about the key learnings.
Thanks, Amin. My first learning is to be flexible and resilient when the unexpected happens. We lost our first 2 designers in the first 2 weeks of the program, and so we had to learn how to adapt and pivot to a developer-led product and be resourceful and hack different prototypes. Number 2 was to prioritize features and the scope when needed by negotiating with the developers and designers. Number 3 was to communicate early and often to make sure that we can move our product along and meet deadlines. Next, I'll pass it on to Amin.
Okay, thanks, Carl. So for me, the first skill that I learned from this journey is how to break the user stories into, or how to break down the user stories into technical tasks, and also how to estimate a time for each task. And the second skill is how to minimize the project and make it sure that it's implemented before the deadline. The third skill is the communication, how to communicate with the product manager and also with the product designer, and how to implement those features in real projects. Yeah, I will pass it now to Marky.
Thanks, Amin. So as a product designer, I learned how vital it is to understand the problem and constraints since I was brought on halfway into the project. Second one is design with the end user in mind by exploring different solutions. And lastly, the importance of a detailed design document to hand off for development.
And that's it for our presentation. Thanks for listening. And here's our contact information if anyone wants to get in touch with any of us. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Great. I think we don't have a ton of time for questions, but Nat has a question. She said she can't speak because she lives in a tiny house and everyone's asleep. But her question is, this is a highly needed product. Thank you for creating it. How do you address the issue of data sensitivity? Do you have any plans to assure the peace of mind of users that the data they enter won't compromise their privacy?
Yeah, good question. Do you want to answer that, Amin, on the dev side?
Okay, so for us now, we don't collect any data from the user. So we are using just only the local storage of their browsers. So anything is going to be saved in the local storage. And also, we don't collect any data from the user. What we are doing now, we are just giving some information or some questions, and the user needs to answer those questions, and he will get a result. If you want to save that result as a PDF, you can save it. If he wants to go back to the browser again and find those information, he can find them there because we save it just only in the local storage. So we are not doing anything for users. Yeah.
Great. Thank you guys so much. We have run out of the Q&A time, but there are more questions in the chat, so please answer those when you have time. And thank you so much. Really could have used a product like that myself for sure.
Thank you.
All right, guys, give it another try. You got this.
Okay, I am going to share my screen now. Awesome. So we are JD Plus. Welcome from our end. We have Sam, who's a product manager. I'm Sahar, product designer. Kachi, who is our front-end developer, and Femi, who is the back-end developer. So have you ever read a job description and wondered what the job is actually like? Sure, it may tell you the responsibilities and required preferences, but what about the salary? What is the company culture like? How is the management? These are all very important questions. So our research shows that 67% of young job seekers would like to know more about a job, and 47% of candidates actually failed job interviews because they did not have enough information about the role that they applied to. So what that means is not only would job seekers like to know more about a company, but recruiters also preferred candidates who had gone an extra mile to learn about a position. So currently, when you look at a job posting, you have to go to a couple of third-party sites like Glassdoor, Level, Blind.com to learn about the job. Now, for each job, this means that you will have to enter the URL, filter to the correct role, make notes, and this is to be done for every single job. Now, in a typical job hunt process, we all know that we apply to 100 of jobs. So this process can become very mechanical and draining. So this is where Chrome JD Plus comes in. JD Plus is a Chrome extension, which allows job seekers to look at resources and get insights about a job description beyond what a typical job description offers. So now we are going into the solution and we will go through a demo for it.
Yeah, so in
All
our
right, so
current
now-
MVP, the developers have implemented the links tab you saw in the demo. And next we'll work on crafting a go-to-market strategy to get the extension in the hands of the users. And we plan on starting with like some LinkedIn posts sharing our journey with Co.Lab, and also implementing a preview and people's tab you saw in the product demo as well in future iterations. Throughout this experience, the two most important learnings I took away as the PM were first managing tasks and deadlines for the team together, doing daily stand-ups and unblock anything we have on our plate, and also writing effectively to communicate ideas and requirements with documentation and the product spec about the product.
As a designer, I learned how to work within an agile process. So we had to pivot our bit of our idea in the middle of this sprint, or start more communication and stand-ups. So whatever happened, we adapted to it. I also learned how to communicate within a cross-functional team. But most importantly, I learned how to hand off my designs to the developers for implementation, as well as to design reviews and communication to ensure that they are implemented as designed.
Yeah, so our designers weren't able to make it today, but for them, throughout this process, they got to learn how to work in agile process, learn about the importance of mapping out features, and also communicating feasibility to non-technical members of the team. JD Plus is now live on the Chrome's web store as an extension. You can just search JD Plus in the store, and there's also a link in our presentation. Currently, we only have one page of the entire product in place, but in the future, more will come. Yeah.
Thank you. So if you guys have any questions, let us know.
Awesome. I did see one in the chat from Kevin. Let me unmute him if he'd like to be unmuted. I know he has spoken a few times.
Here I am speaking again. This is, I mean, everyone has said it in the chat already. This is extremely clever and interesting. I'm curious, like, particularly on the engineering side about something, because I think this is so clever. How are you gathering the info from the relevant sites? Like, how are you generating that through the Chrome extension? Is it through some kind of content scraping? Are there some kind of integrations with the sites listed there? I'm just curious because you did such a great job executing that and generating that information. I'm just curious about the approach there.
Do you want to explain that?
Yeah, so I guess for content, I guess the main approach is content scraping. So first we scrape the job board site for the job title and the company name. And then I guess we kind of hard coded certain sites we want to look at, like for example, Glassdoor, Level.fyi, these kind of sites. And currently we haven't implemented the I guess the summary or preview page of all the content yet, but I guess the approach would be similar, just kind of scraping certain fields. They have a common structure for these sites, I guess. And one thing was like kind of a big challenge for us was at first we were going to prioritize, the LinkedIn connections feature where it kind of recommends people who work at the company to you. But turns out LinkedIn deprecated their people search API. So we were not able to do that easily, but we did find an alternative approach, which was just to send a request to LinkedIn and scrape the response, but just something we haven't implemented as of now. Yeah.
So we also looked at like the feasibility of implementing that middle preview screen. So Glassdoor has an API, Levels.fyi has an AppSum file, I think if I'm not wrong, that you can actually get data from. The only limitation is LinkedIn, because there you cannot search beyond first connection and display. So that is something that we will be looking into in the future, if that answers your question.
Awesome. That's great. I think Katie had a question too. We have a bit of time left, so I will try unmuting her and see if she is available.
Sure. Yeah, I'll say it really quickly. So obviously you put a lot of thought into this app, so I'm sure you have an answer for this. But what does success look like for this product? So if you couldn't tell me anything else, like what is the one KPI that's your North Star? If you told me, okay, X percentage of users are doing Y, that's how I know it's doing well. What is that?
I would have to say recurring usage. So it might be like people can download it and use it one time and they might or might not like it. But for us, it would be successful if candidates use it a couple of times in their job hunt process. So while I interviewed, I found out that most people going to this extent of search only for jobs that they either really like or they get interviewed for. So for us, if this can help them quickly scan through jobs and then come back again, but if they get an interview, I think that's how we would think that it has been good.
Great. All right. Thank you guys so much. That was awesome to see. We'll move on to the next team, and Sam, have a safe flight. We'll ask to unmute you guys so you can start talking.
All right, well, ahoy everyone. I'm Andrew Nguyen. I'm the product manager for Team Ahoy. Our product helps people actually meet. And today I'm joined by Pragya, our product designer, and Mustafa, our developer. So over the past couple of years, COVID-19 has really fueled a mental health crisis as a result of infrequent and meaningful social interactions. In a 2020 Harvard study, there were 61% of young adults who reported feelings of serious loneliness. Young people go through a tremendous amount of change, especially in their personal and professional lives, that cause them to live individualized lifestyles and as a result, make them feel alone. So how might we make humans more approachable to each other so that they can create genuine connection and reduce feelings of loneliness? When we look at the solutions young people are currently using, they're gravitating towards social media apps and dating apps to create a genuine sense of connection. However, despite the large market size of social media apps, there's been a mass exodus to dating apps. However, many users are not satisfied with their current experience. In fact, 90% of Gen Z feels frustrated with dating apps. 35% of people who use dating apps do it to find platonic friends, and 33% of people that use a swiping app never meet in real life. So they're swiping compulsively for entertainment, which as a result increases feelings of loneliness.
Meet lonely Lily. She had to move to a new city for her first job out of college. Pandemic hit and she's been working remotely. She has no friends in the new city and feels quite lonely most of the time. She also feels Zoom fatigue and wishes she could meet people in person. The $50.4 billion market currently does not solve Lily's problems. On weekends, Lily wishes she had a friend she could go to a bar with. So she opens her mobile and tries to find friends in one of the apps. Very soon, she gets overwhelmed by a number of profiles. After multiple swipes, she finally finds someone interesting and sends her a connection request. She waits for 2 full days, gets no response, and gives up thinking, what a waste of time. Going through Lily's journey, we found an opportunity to reduce decision fatigue, reduce connection time, and actually facilitate meeting. Multiple brainstorming sessions between the team and a ton of feature ideas later, Ahoy was born to address Lily's pain points and frustrations. Ahoy is made for platonic relationships and it facilitates real-time in-person meetings. The main functionality of Ahoy is the connect screen, which lets users find other users who are also looking to make friends near their location. To reduce the decision fatigue and mimic the real-life scenario, we focused on matching a user with just one other user. With Ahoy, users can focus more on meeting than on chatting or planning. Ahoy chats are 30-minute time-bound chats. Users can get to know each other briefly and then decide whether they want to meet or not. As the users are already in proximity to each other, planning becomes a lot easier. Now we are moving on to team learnings.
Throughout this experience, I was able to develop a value proposition and end-to-end vision for our software development cycle. I conducted customer interviews and user testing with Pragya to determine our desired features, and then created user stories and acceptance criteria that helped manage our sprints.
These past 8 weeks, I learned quite a lot, like involving developers early in the design process and falling back on research at several stages of design alongside the product manager, and most importantly, collaborating effectively in an agile team.
Last 8 weeks for me, it was a great opportunity to work with an amazing team. And I learned how to have effective communication in a cross-functional team, and especially to have effective communication with product manager and designer, helping them to make the right decision at the right time. Also, as a developer, I learned how to optimize development processes based on the resources and the skills of the teammates, as well propose creative workarounds and solutions when the team faces a block.
This process wouldn't have been possible without their mentor, Kevin Behan, so we thank him for his guidance, and thank you all for listening. So ahoy, and we'll open it out to any questions you might have.
Ahoy!
Thank you, guys. That was so great. I can totally use that. I moved across the country and have no friends. So that would be wonderful. All right, let's see if anybody has any questions. Katie, I can unmute you. Oops, hang on a second. I just closed my participants so that I can't see you. Hang on a second here. There you go. Oh, and Anchor has a question too. So Katie, go ahead.
Hey, yeah, so pretty quick, you mentioned you had a list of features that you wanted to, that you had all worked through. Are there any that you wished you had gotten to that you didn't have time to? And out of the list of all of the features, which one was your true favorite, like personally speaking?
Yeah, Katie, that's a great question. I smile when you ask that because the video call comes to mind. But Mustafa had an awesome one where you could make gestures in the middle of public, and then someone who's making a similar gesture would find you. So like if you did the chicken dance and they did the chicken dance, you'd find each other. And I will always remember that from this experience, but I'll let them talk as well.
Yeah, one of my favorite features was when a person goes through another user's profile. As a team, we wanted to, make the users feel more safe. So one of our features was to maybe connect them with Instagram or Facebook and show mutual friends. But that is for our next steps. Second connections or even third connections like LinkedIn or Instagram.
And then I think Razvan had a question too. They're passed on you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, congratulations, great product, great presentation. I really enjoyed the design and the presentation, just echoing what other people have been saying in the chat as well. I'm curious from a dev standpoint, how are you able to reach an MVP with all these great features that you're talking about?
Okay, that's a good question, and it was very challenging actually. In the beginning, I think like we're thinking that like it is feasible for us to implement, but like we faced with several issues. But what we did, instead of like having real-time communication, I could just like propose a workaround, and we just like drop few features, including search based on the interest. So at the moment, we just like search randomly based on the close by location. And for chat, we are actually using third-party solution. We use Jitsi, which actually give us like extra features for having video call also in the app. So I'm using that API to kind of implement this. So I think that we could have good communication between like front-end and back-end team, and we could like implement the features, but also like we had like thought beforehand, like we had good communication with the with the product manager and designer. So in all of the process, whatever like feature we're adding to the software, we knew that like what we are going to do, development team, like they knew like what they have to implement. So kind of we were prepared for getting into it.
Awesome, thanks. I'll respond to that in chat because I know we're over time. Thank you.
Great, thank you all so much. There's another question in chat as well from Ankur. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to unmute you as well. So please feel free to answer those. And on to HealthScribe.
Mary, will you be sharing? Are you sharing your screen? You're muted.
You should receive a prompt to unmute.
Beth, should we let another team go ahead of us?
It's up to you guys. Mary, are you not seeing the prompt to unmute yourself? No? Okay. Maybe try minimizing the main Zoom screen. It's possible that it's popping up outside of it. I know my chat does that. We can give it a minute or so. Like we have a bit of time, so don't worry too much. Don't want anyone to feel stressed. Yeah, all I can do is, there you go. Got it.
There you go.
Were you trying to share your screen now and it's just loading, or?
I was trying to share my screen and it looked like everything just froze all of a sudden.
Okay.
Or you're not seeing anything on your side?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Does anyone else have access to the presentation and they could share?
I do have access, but I think the prototype is Mary has the link to that. So
okay.
Let's try one more time.
Rasvan is suggesting, Mary, because your audio is very distorted as well, and it seems like you're having issues screen sharing, you might need to like rejoin the call. That might help sort of refresh things. So we can just swap you guys in order, like switch to the team that's after, and then you guys can have a fresh start as well. A lot of challenges with technology. Like I said, who's going to make the next better Zoom? Come up with a more creative name. Obviously, that's not my job. All right, we will move on to the next team. Mary, give it a shot. Try leaving and rejoining the call. You guys should be able to unmute. You should see that button. Yeah. There you go. Okay.
Okay. Can I start?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So our product is called Trippin'. We're here to facilitate your trip itinerary planning. I help you plan where trippin'. So meet the team. Hi, I'm Natalia. I'm the product manager, and we also have Marcella, the product designer, Sheena, the front-end developer, David, the back-end developer, and our mentor, Encore. So the problem, planning trip itineraries with friends and family can be very challenging and overwhelming at times when it really shouldn't be. People spend hours using many tools to search for and pick places to visit. And there is also a lack of collaboration with others from the group. And we want to keep all travel buddies up to date on daily activities. Research findings. So we found out that about 94% of people switch between at least 3 different tools to plan a trip itinerary. Around 10 to 13 hours are spent planning a trip itinerary, which is quite a lot of hours. And only 83% of people are satisfied with using applications that are not tailored for travel planning. So our problem statement, how might we provide a simpler and yet effective way for a group of friends to organize and plan a trip itinerary so that everyone can have easy access and collaborate on it? So goals, we wanted trip planning to be more functional and less work for people planning trips. We wanted it to be more convenient planning trips by reducing the amount of tools it takes to plan a great itinerary. And we wanted our product to be more collaborative, especially when you're planning a trip for multiple people. You want everyone to be on board. So proposed solution. Our solution was to create a web app for itinerary creation and planning. And we wanted, sorry, at the slide.
Sorry, guys, I may have changed here, but I can continue from here, Natalia.
Yeah, you can continue from here, yeah.
Our proposed solution, we're going to present our demo today with our prototype because we had some technical difficulties with our product. But here is Trippin'. The user that comes here to plan their first itinerary, they would sign up to the product, add an email and password there. Then they would start creating their new trip itinerary by naming their trip, picking the place that they're going, adding start and end date for their trips. If they have any travel buddies that are going with them, they will just add here their emails to invite them. For the collaboration here, we have thought about having that in like different steps. For the first, for our MVP, since we had the time constraint, the people that have been invited here will be only able to visualize the itinerary. We would plan in the future for them to be able to also edit. We would love to have a chat within the app and maybe also a live like we have on Figma where everyone can see what the other people are doing within the itinerary. But for now, that's what we have. So users will come here and start adding the place that they want to visit daily throughout their trip. So they will come here, add the location. We have integration with Google Maps, so they can see here within the map where is the place that they're going to visit. If they want to continue adding places to the same day, they would just come here. Users can already see the time distance in between the places they're visiting. That will help them see and understand how many things they can do, how many places they can visit within their trip. So from here, they would save, this will be the visualization with a full day. If they cannot finish planning on that time, they would just come back to their account, log in. And this is the itinerary they have started creating before. Here they're editing, you can see. Let's imagine they have added places that they're visiting throughout all the days. When they are finishing save, this would be the visualization of the full itinerary. I'm going to pass back to our developer, David, to continue with our presentation.
Thank you, Marcela. So Tripping was built, the backend of Tripping was built with Laravel, which is a PHP framework. And we use Laravel Sanctum as the authentication middle. And it was hosted on Heroku. And of course, we use Postgres as our database. Please, can you move to the next slide, please? And we also wanted to follow standard engineering principles. So we set up CI/CD with GitHub Actions. You can see some of the workflows and the jobs running here. Next.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
And also we documented our API, which helped the front-end developer in integrating with the API. When it comes to our front end, we used we integrated with Google Maps API for auto-completion whenever a user is inputting the location of somewhere that he or she wants to go. We use React as our library, front-end library, and we use Redux, and then the front-end application was hosted on Vercel, and we use Tailwind CSS as the CSS library for the application.
So we can move on without key learnings. Natalia, you're
Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself. So my key learnings, my major key learning was, so this was my first hands-on experience with product management. So it was really interesting learning about what the designers do and the developers do. I feel like that was really helpful throughout these couple weeks.
The key learnings for me as a product designer, I feel like in my first experience working with a cross-functional team, I came to understand that communication early and often is the key for us to keep the work flowing, to keep everyone in the same page on what we need to do when we need to do it. Sheena?
Okay, sorry. My key learning as a front-end developer was communication, and also being able to make decision on tools to use to be able to deliver within the time frame.
David.
My key learning throughout the entire program has been collaborating with the designer, because it had a lot of impact on the engineering side. And so that has impacted me a lot, and that's what I'm going to take from here.
Thank you all, and we're ready for Q&A.
Awesome, great job, team. Katie, I can unmute you again, so you can ask your question.
I'm so sorry. I feel like I should wait and then someone else can ask first. But first of all, I love this product. I'm a big fan. It's beautiful. So if you got to start all over again, blank slate, what would you do differently? Would you approach things differently? Would you have started design sooner or later? Would you have developed sooner or later? Or are there whole features you think you wouldn't have done?
For me, as a designer, I think that we thought that we could do a lot in the beginning, and that kind of like came as a roadblock because like when we're working on, we saw that some features that we have thought of adding here were like more complicated than we expected. So I feel like we could have done that a little bit better. Anyone?
Okay. Rosman said that Katie asked his question, so maybe he'll have another one in the chat. I was just gonna say, like, come up with another one, and so I think that's it. I think we are out of time as well, but feel free to keep an eye on the chat and answer any questions that might come up as well. Thank you so much. All right, team, let's give it another try. You've got this. I believe in all of you.
Mary, you're muted.
It looks like she actually might be frozen now. So I don't know if you wanted to go ahead, like if you had
Oh, I think
there we go.
something's coming up. You're still muted though, Mary. Did you try and muting?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear
Okay, I was getting two different messages, one saying unmute and one saying it wasn't allowed. All right. Are you able to see my screen?
Not yet.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, great. So hi everyone, my name is Abhinav and I'm here with the rest of my team to present our product, HealthScribe, the all-in-one health and symptom tracker. So for the, Mary, next slide, please. Thank you. So for the problem space for our product, we wanted to focus on helping users who have recurring health issues. Data reported by the CDC shows that, Mary, could you go to the previous slide? I think we're on the wrong slide.
I think there might be a little bit of a delay because of her connectivity.
Yeah.
So it's okay if we're not on the right slide until you can continue speaking.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay, so yeah. So for the problem space for our product, we want to focus on helping users who have recurring health issues. Data reported by the CDC shows that 6 out of 10 Americans have at least one chronic disease, and 4 in 10 adults in the US have multiple chronic health issues. So to explore the problem space a little bit better, we conducted interviews with people who have recurring health issues. In our research, we found that 100% of the users rely on their memory or physical notes to record symptoms, mood, potential triggers, and medications. 90% of those users said that they often misplace, lose track of, or forget relevant information related to past symptom occurrence. 75% of the users whose symptoms are correlated with some habit said that they're unable to pinpoint what habits exacerbate their condition. Next slide. I think we're still, should I present?
Yes.
I, the thing is, I'll have to pass back the control back to you at some point.
So yeah, if Mary stops sharing now, you can share the presentation. Mary, you can try to get your prototype loaded. Hopefully that'll help with your connectivity because I know the struggles.
So for the vision for our product is to help users easily record and derive insights from their health and symptom triggers so that users as well as doctors can identify patterns and isolate potential causes for various recurring health issues. Meet our user persona, Emma. She has been having recurring stomach aches and headaches and has been advised by her doctor to keep track of her food intake and symptoms to be able to identify trends and potential triggers. Now Mary will walk you through how our app Health Scribe will help Emma achieve her goals. I think she just messaged me that her Zoom crashed.
It looks like she's back now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, my Zoom keeps crashing and I'm not sure why.
Abhinav, Razbena has asked, are you able to share the prototype from your end?
Yes, although I'm not super familiar with it, but I can try to share that. I haven't clicked around recently. I know Mary made some updates.
Okay. If you guys feel more comfortable with skipping the prototype and just talking about your learnings and where you'd like to see it go next, that's okay too. We can always point people to the direction of the product pack with the product video, which does have that demo as well. So ways to work around it, right?
Sure. Yeah. So this is what the some of the screens look like. We would have loved to share the prototype. The app is still in a work in progress, so we're trying to clean up some bugs. But we wanted to share the prototype. These are some of the images from the prototype. And now I'll just move on to some key learnings that I had. One of the most important things I learned was the right mindset to have as a PM. It is critical to spend more time exploring the problem space very well before jumping in to build the solution. I also learned how to empathize with users and conduct meaningful and unbiased customer interviews. Lastly, I learned how to lead and influence a team of developers and designers to ship a product. This was by far the most satisfying and enjoyable part of my journey as a product manager. I'll pass it on to Mary for her to share her learnings. But she's still online.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So as a product designer, what I learned was that communication was critical for our process. As a result, I was able to iterate. I was able to articulate design decisions and constraints to make sure that our designs were technically feasible, to iterate on the designs, to incorporate user feedback. And then I also learned how to hand off a design system to the developers to make sure that they had what they needed to build our product.
During my time on Co.Lab, I learned that effective communication is key to ship an MVP. I learned how to build a cross-functional application that is scalable on different devices from Android, iOS, and desktops. That's an idea from the ideations, they really depend on how effective a team can communicate and share ideas to develop an MVP. So also about my partner Alicia, he's not currently available because of some issues. So he also learned how to integrate business logic to meet the design and product specs. He could also like design prototypes to come up with a real life product and make everything functional. He also learned how to apply product manager, mentor, and designer requests to meet deadlines.
Mary, you want to attempt to share the prototype again? That's okay.
I'll try. Fingers crossed.
There are also lots of questions in the chat. If you want, we can call on one of the mentors to speak and
Sure.
answer the rest in the chat as well. So let me see, try to do it in order, make sure I have the, let's see here. Oh, I think, oh, it's loading. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll take Katie's question in the meanwhile. Oh, here we are.
There you go.
Has everyone ever seen the prototype? Okay, so I think Abhinav mentioned our user who is Emma. HealthScribe has 3 features that Emma can use to manage her health-related data. And you can see that she's already logged some events here on the timeline. This is really helpful for Emma because she can log, edit, and delete any event right here on the timeline. Emma can enter her symptoms of headache and stomach ache by using the log event menu. Simply by clicking on symptom, a form opens where a single or multiple symptoms can be entered. Pre-filled input makes it easier for Emma to enter her information. So she can enter the date, the time, and then select the intensity level for the symptoms that she's feeling. You can now see that Emma's information is on the timeline. Insights provides Emma with an analysis of the data that she previously logged. She can further personalize her experience by clicking on symptom history to view the intensity of one or more symptoms that have been trending over a period of time. She can also click on potential triggers, and this will show her some potential foods and drinks that could be making her symptoms worse. So looking here, you can see that it's likely that peanuts and coffee are the cause of her symptoms. Currently, our live event is being developed. Our developers are doing a wonderful job, and hopefully we can have that to you soon.
Thanks,
Great.
Mary.
Thank you all so much. Like I said, there are tons of questions in the chat, so please do jump in there and each take a turn at answering them how you feel. Wonderful job. Thank you everyone to your patience and team for your patience as well. I know it's tough to work through all of those challenges. All right, next up.
Hi, everyone. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Everyone's here. Okay. Hi, everyone. Good evening. We are Team EdisHub, and our product provides easy access to a diverse, robust, and affordable resource hub needed to help developers build their technical skills. Meet our team. My name is Allison. I'm the product designer. Israel is our product manager, and Ethan and Rudes are our 2 developers. And big shout out to Encore, our mentor, for helping guide us throughout these 2 months. Just to introduce the product space, I think something we can all relate to is finding resources to break into the tech industry is like finding a needle in a haystack. So our problem statement was, how might we consolidate resources from the internet to help beginner, intermediate, and experienced developers so that skill acquisition and job hunting and breaking into a tech career seems less daunting. And just for the scope of our research for this cohort, we decided to focus solely on developers. But as we scale, we hope to build out this product for designers, data scientists, PMs, anyone looking into breaking into a tech career.
Our user discovery research began with understanding user segmentation and pain points. Our research and analysis showed that more than half of users who are in the phase of navigating their careers are interested in tech resources. 56% of these users lack enough exposure to resources, especially for job acquisition, job hunting, or even career transitioning. After digging deeper, we realized that 3 over 4 by 5 of our users really want access to affordable resources. Meet Hallo and Wesley. Hallo is 20. She's a student and a travel enthusiast who is looking to be career ready upon graduation, but would like easy access to affordable resources to help her achieve her goals. Wesley, on the other hand, is 30, currently a lab scientist and an early career professional who enjoys gaming at leisure. Wesley would like to transition into a data scientist role, but then he thinks there's so much information online that he feels lost at times when he's looking to access the resources online. So he's looking for guided and personalized resources to help him achieve his goals as well. Welcome to EDS Hub. As a user, for example, a web developer is looking for web development resources. You can explore resources on the web page. You get started by selecting your level of learning. For example, as a beginner. Once you click beginner, you get to see where you can actually access different, select your objectives for learning. For example, we want to build a website, you click continue. Now you can see different options of resources that can get you started provided by EDS Hub. You can select multiples, as many as you want. Once you click continue, you see your resource picks. There are numerous resources here. You can add all of these resources to the dashboard, or you can sort them by different categories by price. If you really want to see free resources, you can sort them by resource types, articles, videos, and all. If you really want to enjoy a personalized experience, you can sign up to add resources to your personalized dashboard.
For the user that would want to sign up so they can have a personalized dashboard, when they click on view dashboard, it will prompt them to log in. And if they have an account, they'll be able to log in with that. If they don't have an account, then it gives them the option to create an account. So they just go through the usual, username, password process to log in, and then they click continue, and then they'll be all set to explore resources from the site. Same as before, they can go to the beginner. If they're a beginner, they say they wanted to build a website, they can continue, and then they can select the resources that they would like from the ones we've suggested for them. The next step is it will present them with a personalized pick, and it gives them the option to be able to add all of the things we suggested to their dashboard. They can also bookmark selected resources and be able to go in to see their recently added. And then they also have the option in the collection where they can actually create a created playlist or collection of resources that they'd like to use as on their learning journey.
Co.Lab was a really remarkable experience for me. Aside from improving my cross-functional skills as a product manager, I learned that keeping a product on track can be really difficult without effective product prioritization. So through agile methodologies, we're able to actually keep our project on track and achieve our milestones.
Sorry, as a designer, I had never before designed something with the back end in mind. So Co.Lab definitely helped me develop a wider eye for design. And basing my designs off of real user data made me feel like I was designing impactful products with an end user in mind. So I'm really grateful for Co.Lab for helping me gain those cross-functional skills.
If you're muted.
Okay, Co.Lab was a great experience. I was able to learn to work across various time zones. Also learned about how to integrate Jira with GitHub, so that way when we made our commits, they actually showed up automatically on the Jira, so our project manager could track and see what we were working on. And also learned about GraphQL and how to use that. And we created this product using headless WordPress, Netlify, Next.js, and also got the chance to be able to go from Figma to creating components. And by the way, our Ruth says he can't unmute. I'm not sure if you're able to try to unmute them so they can speak.
It looks like he's unmuted. It
Yes,
might
but
be,
we can't hear you, Ruth.
it might be the audio input choice. Sometimes that.
Yeah. Ruth, we can't hear you. Maybe click on the icon for your mic at the bottom of your Zoom. Sometimes you have to do that to switch.
It looks like he's dropped off.
All right, if you wanna.
Okay, I'll pretend to be Roots. Learned a lot about cross-functional team, which benefited them in many ways. Being present at the stage of the project lifecycle allowed them to learn from the different teammates, help to gain more organization and design experience, and improve their developer skills.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. We hope to answer any questions, and please visit our future product that's still in development at edishub.com. And in case anyone was wondering, edis is the Latin word for learning or learning by the heart. So that's where that comes from.
I love that. I wondered what it meant, and I was afraid to pronounce it wrong, so I never said it. You do have a mentor with their hand up, so I will unmute Rasman, and you can go ahead.
Thank you, thank you. Great job, everyone. That looks really good. I think what the first question that pops to my mind, but it's been asked before, is how did you manage to do this in such a short time? I mean, your presentation looks great. Your finished product looks really amazing. Can you talk about how you were able to do that?
Okay, first of all, we have an amazing designer, so that made it easy. And then secondly, I'm ambitiously lazy, so I like to look for ways to use resources that already exist. So basically, our back end is a WordPress site, but it's running headlessly. And then we installed a plugin that allowed us to be able to query the site using GraphQL. So that basically meant that we have a built-in system that already handles users, likes, upvotes, all that kind of stuff. And then that data is being fed to our GraphQL endpoint. And so we now have a Next.js app, which is basically just reading that data. So we are actually doing the development for the Next.js part of it. And then the back end was being handled by WordPress.
Awesome. Yeah. So you integrated a bunch of components that were kind of like ready to use, and you did some more work on top. That's really good.
And also by doing it that way, a lot of our stuff is being statically rendered, and it's right now being done through Netlify, which means that it's on a CDN. So as things scale and we grow to the point where we're bigger than Facebook, we'll have the capacity to be able to handle it.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds great. Another follow-up question, maybe you can answer it in chat, would be how are you considering to adapt this? I think Allison mentioned in the beginning that right now it's tailored for developers, but what would you do differently if you were to open it up for other tech professionals or just professionals in general?
It's basically the same process, because it's we'll just be adding more data into our database, or more of resources, and then just serving it to you based on what your interests are. And so all our resources are categorized, and they're also tagged, so that we can then serve that to the person based on what their interests are. So later on, they could have tags for, like, say, we have a web development tag, so everything that's related to web development goes in there. And then it's further tagged based on, say, programming language like CSS, JavaScript, the rest. So for design, it'll be the same thing. We'll just have the categories and the tags, and then the system will be able to provide it to them. So we're building it with the mind that we could provide you with resources for any field really, but we're initially focusing on tech.
And
Awesome.
on the, just to
Great
add a little
design.
bit to that, on the product management part of things, if we're adding new users, set of users like designers, we are starting from scratch as if we're building a new product for them. So we need to reiterate the product, having that in mind that we are building for a new product for a new set of users. So it's just like starting from the beginning till the end again.
Cool. Thank you. Great job once again.
Thank you.
Thank you, team. That was great. I think I don't see any other questions in the chat, and no one else has raised their hand just yet, but definitely keep an eye on the chat in case there's any more questions. I know the other room is wrapping up, and that was the last team. Thank you all so much for your patience. You all did such an amazing job. I know some of the people from the other room are going to start trickling back in.
Oh, we're already here.
Oh, you are here. Wonderful. I thought I saw some of you, but I see some still in the breakout room. So that's why I wasn't sure. But wonderful. Awesome. Welcome back. I can't wait to watch the rest of the presentations that I didn't get to see in the recording as well. That's the challenge of splitting it up so there's a little bit more time. We don't get to see everybody. But yeah, so proud of everything that everyone's been able to do. Ifo asked the same question, are you allowed to view other folks' presentations? Yes, we will be recording it, or it has been recorded, so we will make sure that everyone has access to that so you can see everything that everyone did as well. Yeah, really, like I said, really proud of all of you. I know it has been probably a very difficult, challenging last few 8 weeks. I hope you can all catch up on sleep, take a little bit of extra time to yourselves and on to the next thing. So excited to see where you all go. Definitely come back and share in the community, in the WINS channel when you land a job, or any successes really that you have. So excited. I know, Shifumi, you were going to open a breakout room to answer any questions for any prospective collaborators on the call. So if anyone has any questions, we can set that up. Otherwise, we do have some extra time if we want to unmute or want to be unmuted and ask questions to a previous team or ask questions to anybody else as well. We can stick around to do that here in the main room as well. Shifumi, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, so I'll just echo some of the things that I said in the previous room. Again, I would have loved to watch all the presentations, but I was incredibly blown away and impressed by the awesome presentations of everyone in the other room. Yeah, I was really, I feel my heart is very full, and I'm impressed with the amount of work that you've all put in over the past 8 weeks. Again, 8 weeks is an incredibly short amount of time to build anything. And the fact that you've all made some progress, that's something that you should be incredibly proud of. I know I'm certainly proud of you all, and I know your mentors are also proud of you. So, awesome job. And I want you all to know that it was definitely worth it to be able to put in all this effort to be able to get here, build stuff, and gain confidence. So good job, every single one of you. And thank you for taking the time to be here, be present, and also dedicating your time towards building something that can and will impact so many people's lives. So I definitely just wanted to echo that. Yeah, that's it from my end. But yeah, if there's any other questions regarding COLAB or on any of the presentations that has happened, we can stay back and answer any questions that you might have. Otherwise, yeah, we definitely were on time, which is good. So it's not too rushed or too kind of choked up. So we can feel free to hang around. Otherwise, you definitely deserve the rest of just taking a step back. But yeah, happy to just be around and answer any questions that you might have.